welcome back everyone. It's been a while, but I have come back from my holiday. I've actually not thought about Minecraft for like 3 weeks straight. Like, it's not entered my brain once. And now I'm here thinking, oh gosh, what am I gonna do? Well, that's just the fun of making an episode sometimes. So let's just try and figure out what we're gonna do together. Oh yeah, this is Van Ross, our new painter. He's a bit messy. I think he's definitely going to appreciate living up here now rather than underground over there somewhere. I hope you like life with a view. So I have a bit of an issue at the moment, and that's that I don't really know what I'm going to do with this episode at the moment. I could do anything. I could let the urges take control and just see where that takes me. What urges? Well, sometimes you just get the feeling that you just want to go right ahead and blow up everything. And the key thing is that I have actually developed the tool to enable me to do just that. Jerry is in fact a brilliant redstone creeper, and he will throw me all of the TNT that I desire. The issue is that I have these urges to blow everything up, and I need a way to channel that in a healthy direction. So we have our supplier, but what are we going to do with all of that TNT that he's got? I mean, he's pretty much just filled all the way up there with individual stacks of TNT on the left there. And he does have at least 3 shulker boxes of TNT in the system on the right there, but they're stuck in the dropper elevator. They've not entered into his brain up here. They're still digesting down there. They'll fix themselves as time goes by and I put more sand into the system. They'll make their way up the dropper elevator, and then finally Jerry will realize that he's got shulkers of TNT in his system. But at the moment, he doesn't seem to think that he does. So we're going to have to try and fish all of those shulkers out at the moment, because I would like to use them. Is this a nice hole? There have been better holes. Ow. I had forgotten how to play Minecraft. I thought I pressed the space bar, but apparently I had not. Anyway, so over here we have our dropper elevator, and we should have a shulker box of TNT, and another one in here, and another 2 up, another one there. Do we have another one? No, that's it. So we've got 3 entire shulker boxes of TNT inside of Jerry's redstone. He's just wanting to keep it all to himself for now. Oh. My flying needs some work. My goodness. Right, let's try this again. Up to the top. Right, okay. This is good. Now I should be able to make it out of this hole here. Actually, if I can make it bigger. There we go. Problem solved. So what are we going to do with the 3 shulker boxes of TNT that Jerry has so kindly crafted for us? Wasn't that clear already? I'm going to blow stuff up. And I think the healthy direction that I'm going to direct it towards is something in Cherryville, but not Cherryville itself. It's going to be part of Cherryville. I think today's the day that we finally build ourselves an end portal room. If I go down here, here is our end portal. It's still super vanilla. There's not much going on here. It's very boring. I think we can do something here. And the way that we're going to approach this, we're going to make a very big hole. Hello, horse. Yes, I hear you like golden carrots. This is my golden carrot. It's not for you. I'm sorry. We do have one small issue regarding all of this water, though. We're going to need to clear a lot of this away before we detonate any TNT, because this water's just going to fall straight in and ruin everything for us, and that would leave me being very unhappy. So let's get ourselves some blocks to make that happen. Oh my gosh. I forgot that I left this place in this state. I was in such a rush to make that last episode before I went away on holiday that I wanted to throw all of the storage, all of the resources that I was using just in here without sorting it, because I just didn't have the time to actually go through the stuff. I needed to finish my episode, and then I was leaving the country. And apparently future me has presently arrived, and now present me has to deal with this. Later. We'll deal with the chest monster later. Probably off camera, but the chest monster will be destroyed. I promise you that. Do we have any resin blocks? I've got resin bricks. I don't want resin bricks. I want the... Ooh, don't take my boots off. I want the resin blocks. Do I have any of that? I mean, I've got some resin. Let's just snap some of this. I don't actually feel like that was enough resin, so let's fill in the rest of this shulker that we have here with the resin that we have back at the Enchanted Forest. Hopefully an entire shulker and that inventory's worth should be enough. Now, first things first, I actually need to know where the center of the end portal is. I've got this nice pillar here, but that's not actually where I want to go. So let's just put that down so I've got space for the cobblestone block down here. Let's break our way in. So I want to have a pillar coming out of the middle there. So just do that. This is our center. So let's just... Oh, there goes the water. Of course. But we can just let ourselves up to the surface. Where's this water from? Oh, I'm in a cave. Ah, there's daylight. So this resin pillar is going to be our center point for this project. Ah, this is actually very close to Cherryville, isn't it? I hope I'm not going to regret what I'm going to do. I have a feeling most of this swamp is going to end up going, like, there. I'm going to need to fill in a lot of that. But at least it's pretty shallow. Now, I need a very big hole for this end project. I think I've got something in mind that could work. So let's just draw a little bit of a line by about 50 blocks or so. And that's just going to be one side of the square. Or at least that's going to be the radius of the square. So this is going to be a 100 by 100 block hole. Oh, for goodness sake, look at this. This is a huge area. I've just gone on holiday wanting to recharge, and I've instantly come back to giving myself another mega project. Okay. It should turn out really well though. I'm looking forward to taking on an end portal build, because that isn't actually something I've ever done. I'm actually really looking forward to this. See what kind of creative juices are still in the tank. Oh, the water even goes all the way underground. Oh no, it forks. What kind of cave system is this? Well, I guess there's not really anything else to it. All of this needs to be filled in, or the TNT is not going to do its job. So, I'll be back with you in a sec. And removing the water actually took a little bit longer than I expected. The water in the swamp was actually a little bit deeper than I thought it was. And also there were a couple of very troublesome caves below ground that were also filled with water, quite annoyingly. So I had to go in and fill all of that in with resin as well. But the end result was still the same. No more water. Well, everyone, I did it. I have successfully removed all of the water within this square here. The only issue is that I feel like if I actually went ahead and detonated all of this, I'd be wasting valuable resources. I am actually very tempted to gather any dirt and grass and sand and gravel that there happens to be in this area. And that's because this square is, I feel like it's gonna be a giant black cube protruding by, I don't know, 10 or 20 blocks. I don't know how big I'm going to make this thing actually. But that's going to be very visible. So I'm going to need to save the resources so that I can cover up the project later on. I mean, this is only supposed to be a room and not a monstrosity. And we need to avoid the monstrosity at all costs. So let's see what we can do to save all of the grass and the dirt and the sand and the gravel before we go ahead and actually obliterate the entire place. So that's what I did. I made sure to grab all of the good shovelly stuff before heading to the end to get myself some obsidian because I'm going to need it for my TNT bombers. Finally, I flattened the top of the hole so that I could get the TNT bombers constructed. Well everyone, I have cleared the area as much as I am willing to do for now because now it is time to build ourselves a nice bombing obliterator thingy-majig that will hopefully make a huge dent into this area here so that I don't have to actually manually dig all of it up. It isn't too far between this layer and the end portal. The end portal is literally just here. We're going to need to cover up this end portal with obsidian. I think TNT might actually go through end portals, so we're going to have to try and fix that because I don't want to be blowing up the end. That is not what I want to do with my TNT. I want to blow up the overworld. It's a completely different thing. Ah, it finally stopped raining. At last. So, we'll grab our obsidian. Before we forget, we will just go ahead and cover up the end portal so that TNT can't actually get inside of the frame. Now, the frame blocks should be invulnerable, so I don't need to worry about those, and we can just cover up the bottom as well. And ta-da! We have now properly safeguarded the end portal. You know what? I might actually cover up the sides as well. You never know. Maybe it will help in some way. There we go. End portal protected. Not that it would have broken anyway, but I don't want my TNT going into the end. It's useless if it blows up there. Now, I did actually do my best to keep all of the resources that I've just dug up from the hole, so we've gone all of these double chests of resources, dirt, grass, stone, a little bit of cobble, and various other bits and bobs that are in the hole. And we also have all of this gravel and all of this sand. It's not enough to serve my purpose as far as concrete goes in the future, but it is enough to at least make somewhat of a dent, and a small dent is at least very much welcome. So to make our bomber modules, we've actually gotten plenty of resources. I've made myself a full stack and another dispenser. I've gotten wool for my redstone lines, and I've gotten loads of obsidian. That should be enough to build my TNT modules. This pillar is actually kind of in the way now, as is the other pillar, so we're just going to go ahead and remove them. So we will have a TNT bombing module there, 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 and also in the middle as well. And that should, hopefully in theory, clear out a huge area within this hole. Now then, let's get to work. This is going to be our center. Let's just remove that. We'll have an actual dispenser dropping down the middle there. And then we're going to surround that by wool. And then we're going to have another 3 dispensers on each side of that. There we go, lovely. I can remove that bit of resin now, I don't need it anymore. And then we can cover up the bottom with obsidian. And the interesting thing about dispensers and TNT is that when they dispense TNT into a block, if there's air beneath it, the TNT is just going to fall straight through this block of obsidian. So that way, the bombing module is completely protected by the obsidian and it won't blow up, and the TNT proceeds to destroy everything beneath it. Redstone on all of this. There we go. And this will actually have a block on, actually. Now I need an observer here, and another one here, so that if we had a piston push this observer into place here, all of these dispensers would actually activate and drop all of the TNT beneath us. Get our piston for pushing that observer into place, and now we can build up with obsidian again. We're actually going to have bit of wool there, and a repeater, which I do not have in my inventory. I was not fully prepared. I was hoping I would be, but apparently not. We just need a repeater going in here, and then all we need to do is power this repeater, and the whole bombing module should hopefully activate. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. This seems pretty foolproof. I just need to add TNT. I have a bit of an access hole because I need to be able to get in here to add all of the TNT, but we'll do that later. And then finally, to complete the TNT bombing module, we actually need to go ahead and dig a bit of a hole beneath it. And the reason why is simply because TNT is going to be flooding, streaming straight out of this thing, and it's then gonna sit there on top of the surface, and then there's gonna be like an initial explosion, and then we'll get a hole as TNT begins to bore its way down to the center of the Earth. So if I dig a bit of a hole, then a lot of that explosion is contained and actually fully explodes the surrounding stone and all of that rubbish. Whereas if I didn't have a hole for it to fall into, it would just be landing on the surface and we'd get a lot of spray, which we don't want. We don't want the TNT to spread across the entire landscape, so let's just dig a bit of a hole for ourselves. This should be deep enough. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be deep enough. So let's just fly right on out of here. So I just need to do that another 4 times. So the obliteration machine is in fact ready. We have added all of the redstone lines as well as all 5 TNT bombing modules, and all I need to do to activate this thing is to flick this lever once I've actually added the final repeaters in place and actually added the TNT to the modules themselves. So let's go ahead and do that, and hopefully we won't blow ourselves up in the process. Easy does it, Whistler. Okay, we're gonna put a stack of TNT in each dispenser, and hopefully that should put a serious dent in the world. So that should be a module completely finished. 4 more to go. Last repeater, last obsidian. This machine is now primed for detonation. All I need to do is press that lever, or push the lever, or activate it. Am I far enough away? You know what? Nothing better than being safe. I know I'm quite a distance away from the bombers, but what if something happens and I was to die? That wouldn't be healthy. We're just going to put a bit of a barrier between there and here, and I should be able to watch it from up here. Yep, that looks like it should work. So I can get a good view. Potentially. Have I just blocked it? Kinda. You know what? I'm gonna make an even higher platform from a safer distance. Safety first when it comes to bombs. Okay, there is no way TNT is making it all the way up here, but I'm gonna put some obsidian down anyway, just in case. Nice little torch. Okay, this is gonna be our viewing platform. Oh, I can use a higher place. I can activate it from here, but also from up there. So I can drop an item onto a pressure plate, and that will activate the entire thing. So let's get rid of all of this obsidian. It's not needed anymore. Okay, so once an item lands on that pressure plate, the redstone signal should be sent straight to the bombers, and we'll get ourselves a hole. So let's just go to our little platform all the way up here. We should be safe up here. There's no way TNT manages to launch itself up here. Okay, everyone. Moment of truth. Can I activate a pressure plate with an arrow? That'd be nice. There it goes. The deed is done. Oh, look at all the TNT. Whoa. Oh, that's nice. That is glorious. It is melting through there. Oh no, there was some water still. Ah. I hope that didn't cause too much of an issue. Surprised there wasn't more of a hole over there. I wonder why that was. Okay. Let's have a brief look. What's happened? Why has this not melted? It did actually melt through. It just didn't blow up the surface. So that's good news at least. This has created a nice big hole. As expected, the... Oh, I should have removed the lava sources. Ah, well. I do worry that a lot of that explosion was softened by the lava and the water. But we still have a really good hole in our hands. So, I want a hole 40 blocks beneath this, so I need to get to Y6. Has any of this gone to Y6? No. Okay. That's fine. It looks like we're going to be digging out the rest of this by hand, but this is still a substantial amount of progress, and now we just have to do the rest of it manually, and I'm going to run away from that zombie. Now, luckily I had the flashback mod running in the background while that was going off, so here is an alternate view. Let's see just what happened. Did the lava and the water get in the way? It kind of did, didn't it? Ah, well. We still have a really good hole here. Oh. Some of the TNT didn't actually drop. That's weird. That one didn't either. Why? It appears that this may be a little bit bugged. Why has... Okay. I think some of the dispensers didn't actually drop their TNT, which is an interesting discovery. You'd think that all of it would have dropped, but apparently not. Apparently I've got some TNT back. Don't know how, but I have. Maybe I can investigate what on earth is going on with this one. So all of the redstone is activating. Good. So why is that dispenser not firing? Or this dispenser? What? Why are there two dispensers that aren't firing? That's so weird. Well, I would say that was a very successful explosion, but we do not quite have the hole that we need for our end portal project. So I'll see you as soon as that time lapse is done. Let's go! And welcome back, everyone. We now have a fantastically large hole for our nether portal build. No, not our nether portal, our end portal build. Although... Oh. I have just fallen in lava. How did I manage to do that? I know I left this here, but... You'd think I wouldn't just randomly walk into it. Right, anyway, so this is our end portal build, but we have a nether portal here as well, so this could be potentially our nether portal build for Cherryville as well, seeming as Cherryville is just over there. This could be our nether portal build as well. So it could be good to have some sort of combination of the two. Also, yes, you did see that correctly, I just didn't notice it until now. I did accidentally blow up one of my beacons. It is now gone, and I am under attack yet again. What on earth? My goodness. Get out of here. Recording this segment is not going well. But you can tell that this giant hole that I've dug out here is being dug out on two different types of world generation. So on the right here we have world generation from before 1.18, whereas on the left we have world generation from 1.18 onwards. And that has resulted in a few oddities, well, and things that I have learned. So deep slate, I thought the deep slate layer started where the old bedrock layer started, but clearly it doesn't, or we'd be seeing deep slate over here from the bedrock that had been converted into deep slate. So I think bedrock started at Y5 and it's deep slate now, but this is above Y5. I'm now on Y7 and I've already dug through an entire layer of deep slate, as you can see here. Not only that, the ore generation has massively changed as well, and I already knew this, but it's kind of shocking to see just how much rarer stone diamond ores have gotten. You see this giant hole? I didn't find a single diamond ore within the new world generation area over here. All of the diamonds I found were in the old world generation on this side. And it is a good amount. I tried to leave all of the diamond ores in place so that you could see just what exactly we had. We've got some in the ground there as well. We did have one extra over here, but I accidentally broke it, so now it's an item frame and a diamond. Yeah, these are the diamonds that I found from the big dig. And honestly, it's not that many for the size of the hole that I've just dug, and it's purely because of the new world generation just making every diamond on this side just not exist, which is no fun at all, but we do have some diamonds. So let's fortune them up and see just what we get. That item frame is floating. There it goes. Okay. And from those diamond ores, I have gotten a stack and 28. Pretty good. Although, it does occur to me that given that the stone diamond ores are so rare that maybe I should have kept them in ore form. But oh well, what's done is done. I have done the deed. So let's move on with our lives. Also interesting to note that we actually have a couple of spawners in the hole. We have a cave spider spawner there and a cave spider spawner there. I think they might just be ever so slightly out of range with each other, so I can't combine them. Oh, hang on. Is that another spawner? It is. There's another spawner in the hole. Okay. Maybe that one's in range of that one. Potentially. But yeah, I will probably destroy that one. But maybe I'll keep this one. Just so that I have some method of farming cave spiders in this world. Maybe it'll be cool to have. Although, cave spiders are particularly dangerous. We did a really good job at keeping all of the resources. Well, we tried to keep all of the resources from the hole. I know I blew up a lot of it, so a lot of the resources are dust. But we kept most of it, so we have lots and lots of copper, which will be good for the incoming Copper Age release, 1.21. Is it 9 now, or is it 10? I have no idea what the current Minecraft version is anymore. I'm still on 1.21.6, I think. But we were getting tons of copper from this hole, and I think one of the reasons why is that I actually came across a copper vein within the hole. You can see some of the remnants of it just there. That's probably the bottom part of the copper vein, but it was running through most of the hole. So I was just getting copper block after copper block, and I have so much copper stored in these chests now that I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll just turn them into the bean blocks. That could be fun. I could have decorative bean blocks somewhere. I could be the bean block man. But anyway, moving on with my life, we can return to the hole in the very next episode. But for now, I've been having thoughts about something I've done not relatively recently, but something I would like a little bit more of. So I'm a man in need of more shulker shells, and we do actually have a shulker farm in this world. It is a design of my own, but that design runs rather slowly. But I was wondering, is it possible to maybe chunk load that farm now with ender pearls? And I think I can. Does it work though? Would it still work? Does water still update in a chunk loaded chunk? I'm gonna have to try and find out. So what is chunk loading? Well, it's something you want to do if you have certain farms in your world that you want to keep loaded, and they will continue to generate resources, like an iron farm, which I have built in the spawn chunks of my world. And a spawn chunk generally is always loaded by the game, but it has been patched out of the game recently in favor of manually chunk loading a chunk yourself. So it may be that while I have this fantastic iron farm at spawn here, I think I am lucky that I have an absolute ton of iron here, because all of that chunk loading that I got from the spawn chunks for the iron farm and getting me infinite iron, like I didn't need to be anywhere near here for the iron, that's no longer a thing. We're no longer going to get iron on automatically. I have to be here, unless I put a chunk loader here. And we can do that with an ender pearl. We simply throw a pearl into a bubble column, and then it will float back up to the surface in the soul sand elevator, and then it just bobs around, and it actually loads the chunk that it's in. And that way, my iron farm would continue to produce. I would need to build some chunk loaders over here within our volcano here at spawn in order to keep it loaded. I do wish, now that that's come to light, that I had built my my iron farm in a slightly different place, because I built it in the spawn chunks to keep it loaded, and now that's not a thing. So what I've really done is make my spawn chunks incredibly dangerous, that if I ever return back home from the end without a valid spawn point, I end up spawning on top of the volcano over there with wardens, which isn't very fun. But that's an issue that I will hopefully never run into. I think the only people who will run into it is people playing the world download, and they already have. But I want to make use of chunk loading, and I technically have already made use out of chunk loading. So I'm here at the Enchanted Forest, descending into Davy Jones's locker, because I built a chunk loader beneath Davy Jones's fortress here. Specifically so that I could get the villagers to reset their trades when I was far away, because I needed a lot of glass recently. I needed way too much glass, and I was buying it from these villagers. It was the best way to do it, but I did need to reset the trades, and they kept raising their prices, so the best way to keep those prices down is to just have them always loaded. And yeah, that kept the prices down, and I was able to trade away with them, and they were resetting their stock, and it was great. And the chunk loaders in question are somewhere beneath here. There we go. I've just got two. don't really know how many chunks a ender pearl loads, but I've got one in this chunk and I've got another one in this chunk. And you really just want an ender pearl that bobs up and down, and that way the chunk stays loaded. So, what's the plan? Well, I would quite like to chunk load the end, specifically my shulker farm, because I don't know if you're aware, but I am getting a lot of resources in this world. I've just dug out an entire hole, I've dug out many other areas, and I've got a lot of resources in my world, and I want to put them all in my storage system, but I can't, so they're just littered in various different chest monsters across the world. But I don't have a powerful enough shulker farm to condense all of those resources into a shulker box. And I mean, I have a shulker farm, but I'm not there and it's just slow. And it'd be a lot easier if I could chunk load it. I have obsidian in here. Why do I have that? And a torch. You know what? There could have been TNT on the other side of this. No, there couldn't. I blocked it off. Okay. It's just sudden danger thoughts running through my head. So, the question is, have I successfully designed my shulker farm in a way that allows it to be chunk loaded without it breaking in some way? And I think I could potentially get it to work. So I don't see an issue with the shulkers. The shulkers can create new shulkers. They should be able to if the chunks were loaded anyway. The only thing I might have an issue with is the water, and would the water break? It might well do. But if that happens, then we'll just have to design a better water system for the top of this, because it's not that great. The redstone could definitely be better with this thing. Do we have any shells in here at the moment? We have 3. This farm is good. Question is, if I flick this switch, the farm will turn on and we'll get water, but does the water flow in a chunk-loaded chunk? Especially when I'm in an entirely different dimension. Well, there's the water. And what are the chunks like here? Let's go to the top. I've used F3 and G to activate the chunk boundaries. So, how many chunks would I need? I'd need this one, this one, this one, and also this one. Do I need this observer? Yes. Right, okay, so I'd need... Ugh. How many chunks does an ender pearl load? That's my question. So I need the redstone to be loaded as well. Okay, let's see what we can do with a few chunk loaders. We'll just go a little bit higher up. Oh no. We're very close to world height here. Does that matter? Maybe we can get enough space? I don't have much space here, do I? I'm at 250. Can I get... If I put a soul sand there, and then surrounded it with glass... I can't go any higher than this. Let's put our water in. And we'll just kelp it up. Gonna need some bone meal. There we go. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Okay. So... Ooh. Ominous minecart noises in the end. Far away from everything. How weird. Anyway, is this enough space for me to throw a pearl? It is. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. So we don't need to worry too much about build height then. Let's just get rid of that. We don't need it anymore. This chunk here in the middle of the farm is theoretically forever loaded, even when I'm in a different dimension. I could be in the overworld, in the nether, and this shulker farm would theoretically be active. It would also be acting as a mob switch, which I don't particularly like the idea of in hardcore. And the only reason I'm giving this one a pass is because mob switches are dimension dependent. So this mob switch within the end would only affect the end. It wouldn't affect the mobs that spawn in the overworld. So I still get to fight all of the mobs in the overworld, and I don't really come to the end that much. So I'm not too worried about having a mob switch in the end. And honestly, I didn't think I would ever build a mob switch in my world, and here I am, making my shulker farm into one. But hey, when I'm in the end, I'll probably come over here and I'll disable the switch, and we can go back to having the chunks not loaded, just for a short time that I happen to be in the end, and then we'll leave and we'll turn it back on again. And it would only affect the end anyway, and we're not in the end. If that makes any sense. I don't really know how well the chunk loaders work. Like, do I need to know that the chunks are loaded in the chunks around the ender pearl? Like, is it a kind of deal where the pearl loads the chunk that it's in as well as the surrounding chunks, or is it just the one? If it's just the one, then I need an ender pearl on every chunk that this farm is in. And there we have it, chunk loader number 7. And that, theoretically, is all of the chunk loading I need to do at the shulker farm. Shouldn't need to do anything else. So hopefully these chunk loaders will keep my shulker farm in action, constantly producing shulker shells for me. In fact, it's just in the time that I've been here, it's probably produced quite a few. So let's give it a quick check and see just what kind of deal we are dealing with. Okay, how many shells did I gain while I was making shulker loaders? 25. Okay, not bad, not bad. So that should mean that I would get pretty decent amount of shulker shells if I left this running and happen to do other things in my world, like dig another hole, or build an end portal, or something. Just whatever I happen to do in the world. So we'll check back on this farm at the end of the next episode, and we'll see how many we've got. Hopefully I don't have to come back here and reload the chunks, because, well, the Enderpearl chunk loaders should be doing their job. But we'll see about that. Yeah, we do need a lot of shulker shells in this world, and it's purely because I am a hoarder, and I keep most of the resources I get in this world. Like, I just passed, in this episode, 1,000,000 stone mined, 1,000,000 blocks broken by my own hand. It is right there in my statistics, purely because I dug yet another hole within my world. And all of those resources, they're kept in chest monsters at various different points of the world, and really they could be condensed into one storage system within shulker boxes. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And hopefully we'll be able to clean up our world. So I hope we're not going to have too many disasters with this shulker farm now that we're chunk loading it, and we will see what happens in the future. And on that note, I'll see you all in the next one, everyone. Bye!